Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Natchez, Mississippi. Stop. I'm sorry. Everybody from Natchez, I'm sorry, okay? Because I gotta tell you this, don't before we go any farther in this video. This is a mistake that I made numerous times in this video. I just wanna say I'm sorry. And that is, don't call it Natchez, it's Natchez. Like matches, Natchez. That's how the locals say it. Not like us tourists. I apologize. Please forgive me. Feel free to count how many times I say Natchez with that hard Z and put it in the comments below, but I just want to say I'm sorry. Don't say it the way I do in the video. Remember, Natchez, like matches, that's how you actually say it. Now, let's get back to the video. Home of some of the most beautiful homes that you can go and visit in the U.S. It is a gorgeous town here in Mississippi. We're actually on the Mississippi River. It's right there. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting Natchez when you do come here to visit, because this is a gorgeous city. And my first don't for you, though, is don't get burned out with all the historic homes, halls, mansions, and places to visit, because there are a ton of large places to visit and small homes to visit. Whether you're going to Stanton Hall, probably the best one of them all, you can go see that. Or if you go out of town to Longwood, or maybe you go right down the street here to Rosalie Mansion, or you can go to the Towers of Natchez. I mean, there are so many places you can go and do tours of, and they have them every so often, maybe on the hour. It is just a really gorgeous thing to do, but there's so many of them and there's so many gorgeous ones that sometimes you might get a little burned out for it. So make sure you're choosing some ones you really want to get to, just so it doesn't all kind of blur together. Now, my next don't for you is, don't think it's just the big houses like Stanton Hall. There's actually smaller homes you can go to as well, like Twin Oaks or the Burn. I mean, there's a lot of smaller places you can go visit, so make sure you kind of make a mix of the big, huge halls and the smaller homes as well. Now, I do have a don't when you go into the homes. Don't think you can take pictures inside. That's why you see all these pictures of the outside. You notice I'm showing you all these pictures of these homes around town, but couldn't take pictures inside. That's why they want you to get the guidebook when you're there. You can see the picture when you're there, but they're all period pieces. I mean, it's just fantastic to go to, but sadly, no pictures inside. And another don't I think you should know about when you do go to these things is, don't think it's going to be cheap to go into all these historic homes. For example, we went to Rosalie Mansion yesterday. It was $20 for me, $20 for Jocelyn, $15 for Caleb. Liam was under 10, so he was free, but it was $55. Go to Longwood. I'm $25, Jocelyn's $25, Caleb's $25, Liam is free. That's $75. So these things can really add up. So if you don't have an unlimited budget, make sure you're being very judicious with the halls and homes you're going to go to. So be careful with that. And the thing is, this town is very easy to get around, so you can go from house to house to house relatively easily. And that's why my next don't for you is, don't forget to bring a good pair of walking shoes when you're here, not just to walk around town, to walk between the homes, but also walking in the homes as well. And I think another don't I should tell you about the historic homes is, don't think that they're open all the time, or you can go in anytime. Some of them have hourly tours. Some, Longwood had a tour every half an hour. Some places are only open during the pilgrimages. And the pilgrimages are basically like in the spring, like March, April. There's a bunch of people that come down. You'll see people dressed in period pieces doing the tours. Or you might come in October where there's another pilgrimage. And what's cool, if you come in October, you can kind of tie it together with the pilgrimage to see the homes when they're done up, and the little ones, that's when they open up a lot of times. But there's also a balloon festival that goes on here at the same time. So, two birds with one stone to see when you're here. But make sure you are checking the hours and the schedules for the homes you want to visit, because it might, if you look on Google, say, oh, they're open 9 to 4. But the thing is, are there tours at 9, 10, 11, 12, or the tours at 10 and 2? You want to check these things out, especially if you're coming off season. Now, there's another thing I think is important you grab when you are coming here, is when you are here, if you're at your hotel, your B&B, or you go to the Convention and Visitors Bureau, make sure, don't forget to grab a map, because there's so many historic homes that people will be like, oh, you go to Choctaw and you'll take a right, and then you're right down there to the Stanton Hall, then you can come back and walk on Franklin and see the antique shops there. You're like, what? Grab a map. It just makes it a lot easier, because there's so many homes, and you just kind of highlight them and go around, because you can walk the city easily, but you also can drive the city easily. But I think the driving reminds me of another don't I have for you, and that is, don't assume people will follow the arrows on the roads, okay? Look, there's a lot of one-way streets here, so that's why it's important to have the map. But also, if you're going down Canal, you'll see there's parts where it's, oh, this lane is straight and this lane's turn. The next one is, because of all the one-ways, there's all this. not everyone will do the turn when they're supposed to or go straight when they're supposed to. Yesterday I almost got hit 3 times driving down Canal because people didn't turn when they were supposed to. So do have a heads up for that. But the thing is, if you don't want to feel like walking the city or you don't feel like driving around, well, don't worry. There's actually the hop on, hop off tour bus that will take you around town. You can do that. There's also carriage tours you can do when you're here. I mean, heck, there's even golf cart tours that'll drive you around and give you a private tour. So that's one of the things when you're here. There's a lot of history that's here. So if you want to hear the history, the good and the bad, and I'll talk about that later, you can actually learn a lot from the guides when you're here. So do get a guide if you can to kind of get more out of your adventure when you're here in Natchez. Now, I know I've been talking about these historic homes and their beauty so much, but the thing is, my next stone for you is don't forget to check out the churches as well, because there's some really gorgeous churches here in Natchez you can go visit. And the thing is, the people had a lot of money here. You'll see that in the homes because, well, slavery, that was here. And over there in Louisiana, the other side of the river, that's where all the cotton fields were. And this is where the people that had the cotton plantations, this is where they built their homes to show off their wealth, because Natchez was at one time had the most millionaires in the US. I mean, it was pretty crazy because it's where all the cotton millionaires were. So, and they had money from a lot of other things, but something to think about when you're going through, because there's a lot of history when you're here. That's why I think it's really important, if you are here in Natchez, you go to the Natchez Museum of African American Culture, because then you can learn a lot more about the history of the town when you are here. So definitely check that out when you are downtown. And when you are walking downtown, my next stone for you is don't think it's just antique shops when you're downtown. There are some cute little shops you can go to. I know my wife, she went to Darby's and she spent quite a bit of time when she was there and found all kinds of stuff for her house. So there are some cute shops you can go see, but yes, there are an abundance of antique shops here in the historic part of Natchez and around, but you can see why, because you have a lot of, restoration here in the city, and the city does do a lot of work to make the city look gorgeous. So make sure if you do want an antique or two, yes, you could definitely find some stuff when you are here. Now, my next stone for you is don't come to Natchez on a diet, because seriously, Natchez has got some amazing food when you're here. So whether you're going to Big Mama's Tamales or right across the way, you got your Regina's. We went there last night for some French fare. It was so good. Or you can go to Moo's, Moo's Barn and Grill. Great barbecue, by the way. Ribs, just fall off the boat. I don't even think you have to chew. I think it like melts in your mouth. They're so good. I mean, the boys loved them. I won't lie. I may have had a bite or two, maybe. Okay. But there's a lot of great food when you're here. You can have crawfish. You can have seafood from down south farther. There's a lot of amazing food when you're here. But my insider tip, go to the donut shop, okay, and get a fresh glazed donut there, or get a dozen glazed donuts there. People are super friendly, super nice. Bring the cash and get some donuts and just love it, because my God, I had such a good time getting my donuts there. The people were so friendly. It was just awesome. But seriously, come in here, don't come on a diet, because there's a lot of great places to eat and you won't have a hard time finding some, okay? And if not, don't worry, because the locals will definitely tell you what to see and do and eat and talk to you when you're here. Because the people here in Natchez are super friendly. I mean, I've talked to about 25 people today. Just this morning, it's like 11 o'clock in the morning. And I've already been talking to a lot of locals, just because people are like, oh, what are you doing? Hell, it's here. Did you talk about this? Did you mention this place? I'm like, yes, we got that. We got that. And it's awesome. And the people here are so nice. I know one of our fans, Jason, super nice guy. He was sending us things to go see down here. And I'm like, our notes are right on. It's so great. His grandma even gives tours here during the pilgrimage. So Jason and Jason's grandma, I want to say thank you for having a wonderful home and a wonderful town here. So thank you for that. Now, speaking of another don't, going back to the kind of the tourist things out here, I would say don't expect to stay in a chain hotel if you want to be by the historic center, because this is a B&B place to stay. You want to stay in town in a B&B in one of the historic homes. That's what you want to do, okay? And sometimes they're not as easy to find, like on TripAdvisor or something like that. So make sure you search online and look for B&Bs in Natchez and grab one there. Yes, there are a few hotels you can go to when you are here. If you're like just past Rosalie Mansion, you've got like a Hampton Inn and a Holiday Inn and the Magnolia Hotel. There is that, but you want to be in the historic part. So you want to get a B&B when you're here, because this is B&B definitely to do when you do want to stay here. And another don't I have for you, we learned this the hard way, is if you're coming from Jackson, don't drive in the sun going down part of the day, because the road is gorgeous, but the sun is right in your eye most of the time. I mean, it can be a little like, oh, I can't see very well. But if you're coming from Jackson, but in general, it's a great driving here, so don't worry about that. Just for people that are going to be traveling around, if you're looking to go to other places nearby, Baton Rouge is about an hour and a half. If you want to go to New Orleans, it's around 3 hours to get there. Jackson is about 2 hours. Biloxi, if you're going to go down to the coast, is about 3.5 hours to get there. So not too far if you're here in the US, but it isn't like it's in the center of a lot of things. You have to make a point to come here, and believe me, it is worth coming here. Now, another thing I think is important is don't forget to have some cash when you're here. Now, all the homes we've gone to have taken credit card, but some of the places we've gone to eat and get snacks and stuff like that, I mean, they took not all the cards, but they took most of the cards. You know, it's kind of like, oh, Visa, MasterCard they had, but not Amex. And some places were like, hey, cash only. So just have some cash when you're here and just be prepared just in case. And my last donut for you when you're coming here to Natchez, because honestly, a lot of international travelers come here, and a lot of people from all over the US come here to Natchez to see these beautiful homes, and that is, don't worry if you don't catch their accent on the first go around, or you don't catch what they say, because you know what? They might not catch what you say either. So just be ready for a little bit of, what did you say? What is that? Okay, I got it. But most in general, it's not a problem when you are here. But yes, you do have that Mississippi accent when you are here, but it is a fun kind of thing to do, and it really brings you into that feel of Mississippi and the South and all kinds of stuff. So it is a really, really wonderful place to be, and the people you talk to just, I mean, honestly, Natchez has got some wonderful people, so definitely check it out when you are here. But honestly, I gotta say is don't skip Natchez. I always tell people, if you're gonna come to the south of the US, Natchez has gotta be on your list of cities to go to for all the number of historic homes that are here that you can visit and see and learn about the history. It is well worth it, all right? So I wish you all the best. Hope you have a great time here in Natchez. If you wanna learn more, maybe what you don't do in Mississippi or what to eat when you're in Mississippi, check us out on our website at woltersworld.com. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and a special thank you to Jason and his grandma for all their tips, and also a special thank you to our patrons and members who help make honest videos like this possible. And I'll say bye from here in Natchez.